to another episode of the News Review on Unilag TV. My name is Vina Peters. Today we'll be looking at two things. One is the expectations of the new Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos from the university community, and the other is the ASU protest of the no work, no pay policy. Let's begin with the expectations of the university community. The first female vice chancellor in the 60 years history of the University of Lagos, who was appointed on the 7th of October 2022 and resumed office on the 12th of November 2022, have raised expectations of the university community as people are wondering what will be the next step, or should I say, the first course of action of Professor Folasade Ogunsola as the 13th vice chancellor of the university. Luckily for us, we went round the university community to get their expectations of the 13th Vice Chancellor of the university. Take a listen.
Women and girls have struggled for recognition over the years in a society that's biased. And on the 11th of October 2022, the world marked the International Day for the Girl Child with the theme, "It's our time, our rights, our future." Days after, the University of Lagos appointed the first female vice chancellor in 60 years. And the euphoria is eclectic. Here is the vibe.
I feel having a vice chancellor as a woman is actually going to benefit the school very well, because a woman is actually emotional, so she'll know how to handle issues in hostels, in classes, issues like that. It's actually very, very nice having a woman as a vice chancellor.
I feel it is a welcome development and should resonate well with the students because she's also a mother and she's also a woman. So I feel it is a welcome development, and I'm happy. I'm happy I get to have a female VC at my own time in Unilag.
Hi, my name is Bolanle Olasende, and I'm excited by the news of the first female VC in the University of Lagos. So I'm an alumnus of the Postgraduate School of University of Lagos, and then it's exciting for me to come back and see that this development has come in. So I'm very excited. It seems this is the time for women to shine, and then I'm very excited by the things that women will do, and they will be able to come forward and people will see that what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Alumnus of University of Lagos, and I also work here. Excitement everywhere. History was made on Friday, September 30, 2022, when the University of Lagos gave Professor Folasade Ogunsola, a fellow of the Academy of Science, that mandate to lead the University of Lagos for the next 5 years. That's the first time in the history of this school, since 1962, that we're having a first female vice chancellor. One thing that worked for her is she's traveled this road severally. When I mean traveled this road severally, she's a woman of many firsts. For those who don't know, she was the first female provost of the College of Medicine. She's the first female Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development Services, and now she's emerging as the first female Vice Chancellor. She's been at the council for 3 terms. She's got the experience. She also acted as the acting Vice Chancellor when there was an issue between the ex-Pro Chancellor and the outgoing VC. So they found out that she's got all the prerequisites that is needed to steer the ship. So excitement everywhere you go. And it's looking like the woman's world. We have the first female vice chancellor, the deputy vice chancellor development service is a female, the deputy vice chancellor academic and research is a female, the incoming bursar is a female, the university librarian is a female, the director of academic planning is a female, the director of college assurance is a female. So the female are now telling us that our look on. So we wish her all the best in our quest to take the University of Lagos to the next level in the next 5 years.
It's all about, a first female for the first time is going to take charge. And we, as female, we are very happy. It's a good thing to hear that a woman is going to lead this time around. And we really hope that the cap that she's going to wear now is going to bring good terms for everybody.
Yeah, first females VC, University of Lagos, University of First Choice, Nigeria's nation's pride. Fine, beautiful. The first female VC ever since 68th anniversary, first female. We are expecting so much. So much in the sense that the university is excited, the university is expectant, the university is expecting something good. One, because of the experience, the knowledge, and the background of the person that is coming in. The person coming in, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, happens to be somebody who knows what she's doing. And as a result, we think it's a blessing to the university. And we believe to the staff, to the students, and to the nation, to University of Lagos community, I think it's the best for now. We are expecting so much. We are expecting so much. And I think peradventure, we have had some dealings with her before, and we know that she is standing out. And we feel that she's going to put that into action, the trust and the belief of the people, especially the welfare of the members of staff, which is very, very paramount at this time. And also the students, taking University of Lagos to the first, to the excellent level, and to permanently there. Because position of University of Lagos is already at the top, and we want to be at the top. We want to be university to beat, and want to be a model university, and we feel that Professor Ogunsola is a distinguished professor, and we know that she will do better. We have trust and faith that University of Lagos will actually achieve well. Women as a bossa, women as a Vice Chancellor, let us see the combination for the first time. The Yoruba people will say, I want to come. It is time for University of Lagos to shine and for the nation to see.
We've seen and heard from the various people who spoke to us that Professor Sade Ogunsola is a woman of many parts, a woman of first to her. And the expectations are high from the University of First Choice. The first female Vice Chancellor in 60 years is no mean feat. And so from all of us at the University of Lagos TV, we say a hearty congratulations to her. Indeed, it is our time. My name is Florence Oka-Avai, reporting for Unilag TV. Over to you, Bola.
Those were the expectations from the university community. With me in the studio to talk more on the expectations of the 13th Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, and the ASU no work, no pay policy is a professor from the Department of Philosophy and also a former ASU chairman, Unilag chapter, Professor Karo Ogbinaka. Welcome to the program, Prof.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, now, so quickly, on a personal note, what are your expectations from Professor Ogunsola as the 13th Vice Chancellor? Or do you also share the sentiments of the university community?
Well, I will say I don't really share most of those sentiments.
Okay.
The holiday is over, and it is time to work. She is not going to be appraised based on the adjective that she's the first female Vice Chancellor. She's going to be appraised at the end of the day as a Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. And I want to disabuse our minds from a lot of things. If you look at the career of Margaret Thatcher, the first female Prime Minister of Britain, she was called an Iron Lady because the moment she set out to work, generally she was the first person to have stopped children from taking milk in the school in Britain, and she took a lot of hard and harsh policies. She's coming at a time we have our own peculiar challenges at the University of Lagos. For example, the most academics, I can tell you, they are on their downturn. And they will need to really go out of the box to motivate people to do their work as academics, especially given the confrontation between the federal government and ASU. I'll get to that. We have challenges in the University of Lagos. Students' accommodation, lecturers' accommodation, the Lagos factor, and many other things. People are living so far from the campus. We need to settle down the students. We have huge bill in terms of municipal services. I want to really say I don't, so to say, admire when she's coming in. But we must underscore one thing: she's very experienced. When I was ASU chairman, she was the provost of the College of Medicine, so we've come a long way. She's a thoroughgoing person. She's meticulous, and she has an academic background. Her father being a professor.
Okay.
And so she's not new to the university environment. But if anybody expects that they will find that feminine approach to her way of doing things, I think from my encounter with her, she's a tough person.
Okay.
But when it comes to her sense of justice, I think she has one of the best.
Okay.
And so I will wish her well.
Okay, you said something about hard and harsh policies. Are there some that you are looking forward to?
Yes, I expect that merit will play a major role. So people who would want to have things based on sentiments, I think they will want to fight back. Then again too, I expect some level of openness given her background in ways of doing things. And so a lot of people will sit up from the departmental leadership to the faculty leadership. A lot of people will discover that there is going to be a game-changing approach to our leadership model in the university.
Okay. So, Prof, you are a professor of philosophy. All right. So let's come from a philosophical point of view. What do you think will be on the minds of students, lecturers, non-academic staff, and a whole lot in the community? What do you think will be their expectations from the VC?
Well, you see, the University of Lagos is up there, so she have the University of Lagos to beat as a university. And we were talking about expanding the frontiers of the university in terms of achievement.
Yes.
And so she should be very clear about this is where we are and this is where we are going. So she must provide the vision, the philosophy that will drive her leadership. Exactly what type of University of Lagos does she want? And I believe the model is not in Nigeria. We should be thinking about our ranking in Africa and the world. Invariably, we must be thinking about maybe an Oxford, a Cambridge, a Harvard, and see what are these people doing right that we must emulate. What are the things that are wrong with our system that we must negate? And when we have this type of approach, people will key into our leadership. And so it will not be business as usual. And that is exactly what we are trying to point out.
Okay. So the 13th Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos, Professor Ogunsola, she has actually declared part of a vision for the future, for the people, to be more technology driven and enhancing the environment. What do you think should be the steps for her to put in place, for her to achieve these?
We need to be careful when it comes to things like that. Yes, we need a technology-driven system, but let us be honest. The economy will not speak well when it comes to that. There's a way you want to be technology-driven, and then you lay off workers.
Okay.
I think she should be very careful and cautious while we are doing that. There are some countries where they use machines to sweep their environment, but they've made provision for how to employ the people that will be laid off. We have a very huge army of support staff, non-teaching staff, and I think we should find a way to professionalize their work. Most of our non-teaching staff, they have not been given the professional competence they ought to have. For example, while I was the Deputy Dean of Student Affairs, we had to retrain most of them to be hostel facility managers. Invariably, they operate as if they are in the hotel. The Unilag Press, the Unilag Television, the hostels, the Unilag guest houses, those people, these are places that should be manned by professionals. Even the garden and parks, they should be manned by professionals. That was how it was in the past. But the idea of transferring people as if they belong to the same sector, I think we should stop it. People should have their professional call. So professionalization of the non-teaching staff is key. And so if you are trained as a professional in...
So they should be more specialized. Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
more specialized. You should be able to leave the university and key into a Sheraton hotel, for example.
Okay.
Not just any staff should be sent there. They should be trained on how to interface. The same thing with these people in the hostel. They should be trained on how to interface and relate with students properly as, how do we call it now? As hoteliers we do.
Okay.
As people will attend to you in a standard hotel. And unless we have these things in place, we'll have problem. And again too, we will notice that some areas in the university will require urgent, quick fix attention. For example, areas that will attract tourists, like the lagoon front, is in shambles. The Unilag, what is it called now? Botanical and Zoological Garden is I would say it's a joke. We need to really fix those places. When you go there, you will see that all the animals there are the most stressed animals in the University of Lagos. We need to really look at those things. You don't need to visit there. Sometimes I want to say that the animals should be given their freedom. I think we should really go there and face those things squarely.
Okay.
And it used to be places that used to attract, these are places that used to attract visitors to the University of Lagos. Apart from that, I think she will really need to look at the area of cutting costs in some areas. We are wasting so much money on social activities, parties and all that. I think we should do away with that in the university system.
Is there a particular kind of social activities you have in mind?
Well, I've always insisted when I was ASU chairman that this idea of entertainment at every meetings, and at the end of the day, people still get their sitting allowance. I think it should be stopped. There's no money anywhere, and I think we should face things like that.
Okay.
The idea of some unis just spending money as if the university is a bank, or I think we should look at all that. There should be expenditure limits so that we can move funds to hardcore academic things.
Okay. So now the former VC brought a little bit of innovation to the University of Lagos. Do you see Professor Ogunsola towing the same line, or do you see a new leadership style?
Well, I will tell you that if you look at the University of Lagos, there have been continuity in leadership since the time of Professor Shofulue.
Okay.
Bello was part of his cabinet. Ogunsola was part of that government. He handed over to Ogundikbe. She was also part of that leadership. So the leadership has been coming from the same core of people. It has not really moved outside
Out of it.
since the time of Omotola. It's the same ship, the same spark out of the same fire. And so she should be able to know where the previous government stopped and where she can continue and the things she could bring in. You know, because sometimes we think about generating money. We should look at that aspect too. It's very important. We should also look at the aspect of cutting costs in order to free money to some other aspects.
Okay.
Those are things I think we should look at.
All right, so we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we will be talking about the ASU protest. So we'll go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
What's poppin'? Welcome back. This is still G.
The struggle. Comrades, friends, I want to tell you that new thing is taking place. Without a solidarity song, we cannot have a song of glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Welcome back. It's the News Review on Unilag TV, and we just saw the protest of the ASU Union of the No Work, No Pay policy. I still have Professor Karo Ogbinaka in the studio, and yes, we will be talking about the ASU project. So, Prof, what exactly is happening? We just saw the ASU protest No Work, No Pay policy. What exactly is going on?
Well, the union have always insisted that the best way to address that issue is no pay, no work. Unfortunately, the government seem to have this payback policy. They've put in the budget the revitalization fund.
Okay.
They've also put in the budget
That's for the 2023 budget.
Yes. They've also put in the budget the end allowance they've been owing us over the years.
Okay.
They forgot that this was really a work and no pay situation. When you are owing somebody what he is worked for over the years, and now force the person to go on strike for that thing. If government had addressed this issue earlier, this thing will not drag for 8 months. But they tend to have a different program of trying to defeat ASU until it became clear to them that for 8 months without salary, ASU can hold on. Okay. And so they needed to hurriedly end the strike because of election. There is one thing I want to commend the leadership of ASU for, which is trying to debrief members to say, look, we don't have problem with the students, so go back to class and teach them as if nothing had happened. Well, we're making some progress in that direction, but it's been very little. You move around most campuses, you discover that government thinks the union has resumed. But really, nobody seems to have a moral right to ask somebody who is paid half salary to go and teach a job, to go and complete a job. So what we are experiencing now is really a government that will be paying people full salaries for a job they are not really doing.
Now, when you say half salary, is it half salary for a particular month?
Well, for this particular month, the last salary they paid, they claim it was prorated, but they didn't prorate the tax. They didn't prorate.
Okay, so for people who do not understand what prorated means, please could you kindly explain?
Well, it is like working out a percentage that you worked for 50%. So we are giving you 50% of your salary. So it means on how they did their own calculation without necessarily discussing with the person. The same government should note that when we are on holidays, our salaries are not prorated. How do you prorate salary of somebody who is on sabbatical leave? How do you prorate somebody who is on research leave? These are people who earn their full salary even when they are outside. So the question is, what is the meaning of this prorating? Now, it is going to create a lot of problem For example, I have a carrying capacity. Maybe in the Faculty of Arts, our carrying capacity is supposed to be 30 students per class, per set. And if we are teaching up to 150 students in that set, who is going to pay for the extra? Especially when you are owing me end allowance. I will just tell the university I'm going to grade for 30, and you look for other people who will grade for the other 30. I'm going to teach 30, and I will not go beyond that, because that is what I'm going to be paid. And so there are a lot of technicalities, and that is why ASU try to make the government know that we are not workers that clock in and clock out. And so you cannot really begin to work this prorating thing. And this is why I started earlier by saying that the VC have a lot of work to do. She needs to go to faculty, she needs to talk to people, and people need to be encouraged to go back to work. Especially in the light of the fact that even within this 8-month period, go to all the departments, almost all the GAs, they have left. They've left for other countries. My department employed 5. We only have 2 on ground. The rest are gone. A good number of the lecturers who are quite of the jack-buying age, they have all left too. And so so who is going to take their burden? I pity HODs, because some lecturers will tell you, please tell the university to employ new people. And that one also has its challenge of IPPIS. Because apparently you will need to go to Abuja to get clearance to employ people. And these are part of the technicalities the Nigerian public don't really appreciate.
Okay, so how does this actually reflect on how does it reflect on the union, like the good education, now quality education? How does this strike reflect that to students, to the whole university, Nigerian university?
Well, I'll put it this way: while we were on strike, universities were rated in the world. Almost all the federal, the universities that were rated, the University of Lagos, UI, the federal universities were on strike. But the sad aspect of the whole thing is that when universities are rated, it is usually based on research, on visibility, not on teaching really. So, and you discover that during the strike, most lecturers were conducting their research. They were having the opportunity to upload their research output. And so when the rating came, they said Nigerian universities made the most progress in the world in terms of research output. So you could really see that the burden the university academics are carrying is even the huge burden of students. Too much teaching, too much workload. But that is where we are. But when you ask yourself, who are the people you are teaching? They are the children of the poor. And so we really need to make them competitive.
Exactly.
And so that when the so-called class bring their people here, or when people have the opportunity of going to meet their people there, they should be at par.
Yes.
And that is a challenge of the union. Not the challenge. The challenge of the union is how do we give quality education to the average Nigerian? And I think ASU will not renege on that.
Okay, so it's looking like, from the federal government point of view, like this problem cannot be solved this year. It's looking like it's going to be next year. So my question is, do we see another strike looming?
You see, the impression government tried to give is that they always believe that ASU had wanted the problem to be solved immediately. No. It took Bajabi Amila to make ASU know that we are putting this thing in the budget. That has been the request of the government. Interestingly, the same government that was accusing ASU of corruption in terms of funding and all that, ASU asked them, the probe you are supposed to conduct in every university called visitation panel, it took a strike for you to set up that panel. The owner of the university is called the visitor. Every 5 years, the visitor is supposed to set up a visitation panel to come and look into the affairs, including financial affairs of the university. Usually, ASU will go on strike for this panel to be set up, As we go on strike for the white paper to be released, up till now, the last panel that sat for 10 years to cover the university, the white paper is still on the table. In a good country where you have democracy, the House of Representatives and Senate must require the executive to say, we want to see this panel report, but they won't. So it is like a clique of corrupt persons trying to cover their track. Otherwise, why shouldn't the owner of a business demand that I should see the affairs of my business? And you now, is the staff that is now telling you, come and probe your business. And you see it as a demand. That definitely is not a demand. Indeed, the Minister of Education should be summoned by the Parliament to come and explain why the visitation panel have not sat down. Because it is based on the university law. And they are the ones that should have such oversight function, not ASU.
Okay, so quickly, Prof, we're actually out of time. So in 30 seconds, what do you think is the way forward?
Well, the way forward is not really to act when we're on strike. What you do when we are out of strike is more important. That means there should be a body that should interface not only in the university, the entire educational sector, and have timeline, a form of action sheet, and said we could not achieve this and this is when we are going to achieve this. That openness is not there. The moment this strike is called off, parents will go to bed, journalists will go to bed, even lecturers will go to bed, until someday somebody will wake up and say, when are they going to do this? And we are going to that same circle. So we should stop reacting. We should be more proactive to some of these problems.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
My name is Karo Ogbinaka.
All right, Prof. Thank you so much, Miss and Professor Karo Ogbinaka.
I
hope you come whenever we actually, invite you for more of our programs.
Well, we leave that to God.
All right, and that's how far we can go on the show for today. Thanks for staying tuned. My name is Vina Peters. Bye for now.